With a generation that is used to instant gratification in almost every area of their lives, education doesn't quite fit that bill. It's a very long, slow, arduous, challenging process. 12 years spent in primary and high school, and then a minimum of a further 3 years for any kind of tertiary qualification. Well, this morning we talked to our creative parenting expert about how to make this marathon manageable and, more important, meaningful. Nikki Bush, welcome back.
Thanks, Graham.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself with this one, I think. I'm used to just that first stage of development, but financially, that's the challenge that the parent has to go through when it comes to schooling. But when I look back at my own experience of schooling, all of the stuff that was intentionally taught to me just didn't seem to work. All of the lessons learnt, though, which are hugely valuable, didn't seem intentional, and it was so long and difficult. How do we broach this with our child? How do we make it a meaningful experience?
Well, my analogy for this would be a little bit like, it's about like the Tour de France. It's a stage race.
I was a time trial kind of guy. Yeah.
It happens in stages. And we need to get children invested in their own development, delighting in their own learning, really excited by the process, not just the end point, which could be very far away.
Yeah.
So that they enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
And so that it's a little bit more manageable and meaningful for all of us.
Those lessons I apply in my career, that ability to cram learn, to deal with high pressure situations, that's how I continue to live my life now. But as a parent from that perspective, how do you identify, what are some of those warning signs that your child does need you to step in and help bring them back into focus or back on track in that sense?
What we're seeing at the moment, Graham, is that this very long, arduous educational process seems to be manifesting in stress, anxiety and depression in children. And often that is because there isn't this instant gratification. So I do this and then I've only got so far and I've still got that, so much to go. And we need to really help our children to see satisfaction in effort. We as a group of parents today are very much the trophy children parents, where children must win and children must get A's from the beginning, and we don't give children time to learn how to get good, to learn how to be good at something, to master something. They've got to be masters from the beginning. And it's actually the process of learning we need to start appreciating more so that our children get more enjoyment out of that process. That is going to take a long time.
I think that was my life journey, was if I had a teacher that I identified with. I mean, you looked at my marks, I'd go from maths A's this year to history A's the next year, not to do with my predisposition, but the teacher that was engaging with me and bringing that out. So it does have a huge impact. Just like us as parents, impacting on how our children learn, how much we appreciate their thinking processes, how much we allow our children to experiment and fail. That's important. And we all go on our own journey. We all have our own learning journey. And if you have 2 or 3 children, you'll see that one child does it this way, one child does it that way. It can be incredibly exhausting and frustrating. But it's to appreciate the brilliance of that mind and how that mind operates in the world, and that it operates very differently to maybe your own or to your other child's mind. So we have all kinds of minds in the world, and we need to appreciate that. Each one just as important. And again, don't hand over all of that process to the school. Schools are designed to handle a part of that process.
The formal side of that process, but actually the hidden curriculum, which happens at home, is as or more important than what happens at school. So we've got to marry them and bring them together.
I'm going to treat the whole exercise as my little boy teaching me.
Oh, that is a brilliant way to look at it.
Oh, man, well, hopefully this has piqued your interest. We're going to continue this very important discussion. And in fact, if you've got older children, let them weigh into the discussion as well. We'd love to hear from them how they are getting it right. But I think most importantly, we as parents, we often forget about the journey, which is the magical part. It's not all about that end result.